And we're live! Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to whatever the hell episode, pandemic episode number 4 or so of the Crafty Boys, where we sit around and drink beer, and I just realized I have no beer at my table. But that's okay, because I'll go get some, because Alan can carry the show. We want to welcome somebody really cool into the show today, and while I go to get beer, Alan, introduce who is here suffering greatly by living in the far reaches of the Delta Quadrant.
All right, yes. Okay, so Shane, you go get your beer. We have a special guest with us today. His name is Ryan Christensen. We have done improv with him over the years. He is also a musician, very talented. Ryan, introduce yourself to everybody and tell them a little bit about what you do.
You just did.
Okay, well, repeat
that's
it.
That's me.
I'm sorry.
I'm Ryan. I met these guys 15 to 20 years ago. Doing some act improv down at the Georgia Dragon.
Nice.
Yeah. It was the good old days.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it for me. Yeah.
All right, so let's go over what we're drinking here. Ryan, guest goes first. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Souk Brewing Company's Brute IPA.
Nice.
It is,
Now that is their crowler can, is it not?
It is one of the crowlers, yeah. It's really good. It's not hoppy like a regular IPA. It's actually got some nice citrusy notes to it.
Okay.
As you can see, it's fairly light.
Yeah.
In color.
It appears to be unfiltered.
In a nice soup. It is. It looks unfiltered. I don't know. I'd have to ask John. But yes.
John is the brewmaster.
John is the brewer.
Okay.
Souk.
I see you've got all the swag. Are you receiving money for this?
No, just liver disease.
Just liver disease. You're getting paid in liver disease. That's nice.
Yeah.
Shane, what are you partaking in?
Let
me guess. It's from Red Truck.
It's from Red Truck Brewing. It's again Hollandsome Mass, which is their their New England hazy IPA, and I've drank it for the past 4 weeks. So, pandemic.
I think Shane, you need to go out a little bit further, and see what else that you can get.
But disease. If I just go across the street, I'm okay, right?
All right. If that makes you feel better.
Well, it doesn't. But I went to the liquor store last Saturday, and it was how shall I say getting down there. Have you noticed this at the beer store?
Well, I went to the BC liquor store up at Broadmead Village on maybe it was Saturday, and actually it was very well stocked. I didn't have a problem.
So beer is essentially liquor is an essential service. I'm so glad that we're able. How is it out there in where do you live again?
Souk.
Let me sorry, I gotta read my shirt. Souk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're well stocked out here.
Okay.
Well, it's because everybody out in Souk drinks moonshine. Like they make their own stuff. They make
what I
like
was told.
Yeah, my back
corn
is
alcohol.
full.
Yeah. If we hear some explosions, we know it's just your still going. Right.
Alan, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. I'm deciding to go off the board a little bit here. I am drinking from Spinnakers. Their whatever this is. I guess it's the 19 barley wine.
Nice.
Barley wine.
So tell us all about this particular liqueur.
All right. Well, Our North American style barley wine is bold yet smooth with notes of dried fruit and toffee embedded in a rich malt body designed to be shared with friends. Haha, I ain't doing
harder.
that.
Read it harder. Yeah, come
This
on.
was a style first crafted.
Tell me about that barley.
Hands in view. Hands in view.
This was a style first crafted as Snicker's Christmas Ale, October 1984, by brewer Brad McQuahey.
Ghostbusters came out that year.
It's true. You're right. All right, so I'm gonna puppy. Now this is not as potent as other ones that we've had. It's only got alcohol of 8.7%, which is remarkably low for a barley wine.
Alan is currently being beamed up. Well,
Am I?
It looks like you have a green screen is trying to cover you up. But so I'm assuming you are a fan of barley wines, though, Ryan.
I've had a couple. Soup Brewing puts one out every year, and I can't drink a lot of it. It's 11%, and it just puts me on my ass.
Okay,
it's tasty. Yeah,
well,
I think you guys had the bottles. Alan was saying a little while back, one of their stouts. So they bottle that every year with a nice wax seal. And
yeah, we did that one a few weeks ago, actually, before the whole pandemic thing. When Shane was in town, and the three of us, you, me, and Dave, were all in the same spot, and we had that, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. I think we all did. The thing I remember about that one the most is when we poured it, then you stop pouring, it just, like, the foam just kept rising and rising and rising, and it would spill over, and it was kind of messy.
It reminded me of the first time I opened a Guinness. Locke, of course, being the one who introduced me to Guinness. I'd never had it before, and he said, "Oh, you got to try one." I said, "Okay." And so he handed me a can, and he was about to instruct me that these cans had the nitro thing in it. We had to put them into the fridge and let them cool for 4 or 5 hours. And I just popped it, and the thing exploded up my nostrils all over the ceiling. And I don't know. He stopped laughing probably about 3 or 4 days later, because it was humorous. But I was just thinking about it now.
I've actually never done that. I heeded your warning. I have never opened up one of those cans of Guinness when they're warm.
Yeah, it's a bad.
To see if I could replicate the same thing.
What about you, Ryan? Have you had an experience where a food product exploded all over yourself or anywhere?
I can't say that's happened. No, I'm fairly cautious. Follow the rules. It's
my. Who remembers the Pandora McDonald's before it got torn down?
It's still there.
No, but the old building. Like the old
I
one.
remember it. Yes.
So I was in there once with my aunt and my mother, and we were, waiting for my sister to finish some dance or singing or something. And I saw my aunt had they were, adults were talking. I was about 11, and my aunt had a ketchup packet wrapped around her finger, and I thought, that's very cool. For some reason, 11-year-old brain goes, that's cool, I should do that. Not realizing that the ketchup packet she had was empty. So I took a ketchup packet, wrapped it around my finger, and it exploded, similar to the beer, up the side of my face, on the ceiling, and all over my mother. So for years, I could go to that McDonald's and I could see the ketchup packet explosion on the ceiling because it stayed there for a very long time. So I was sad when they renovated the building and got rid of a mark of my existence.
But this begs a bigger question: why would your aunt put an empty one around her finger? Like, I don't get that.
No, yeah, haven't a clue. All I remember is that she called me, "You little shit." So yeah, those are the days.
That's like right out of like Home Alone.
It's very much like a Home Alone moment.
Yeah. I'm living alone. Okay, so getting back to beer.
Yeah.
And the pandemic.
Go away, child.
Get out of here! Go to bed!
So
she doesn't go to bed anymore. She's like up to like
she's a teenager now.
She's got boys over all the time. What?
So there's this woman. There's this woman in Pennsylvania, I think. She's 93 years old, and she's staying indoors.
Okay.
Because she's 93, and so she's susceptible to the coronavirus. And what she does, she drinks a beer every night. Well, at some point, she was down to her last 12 cans. So she put up a sign in the window that says, "I need more beer." And her kid came along, or some family member came along, took a picture of her holding up the sign in the window, holding a Coors Light can. And wouldn't you know it, the thing went viral. And Molson Coors provided her with like a whole lot of beer for free.
How much?
I don't know.
Some guy shows up at the door and gives her a bomber bottle of something and says, "There you go, later." Wouldn't that suck? That's like getting Lucky beer on tap. My mother is watching the show and wants to know where Dave is. Dave had his brain removed and is too ill to come. He had a tooth pulled?
Something like that.
But I've totally lost my train of thought. My mother shows up and my brain just goes away. Hey, I want to ask you, Ryan, living in Souk the way that you do.
What do you mean the way that he does? It's like is there many different ways to live in Souk?
There's a ton of different ways. I do it special. Most of the stuff I do is pretty special.
All right, cool. But the question, the real question is, what is there a difference from somebody like Alan and myself living in larger cities or whatever?
City folk.
Because I'm actually not sure how big Souk really is, because Souk was always the butt of a joke for eons. I remember going to a show, a theater show of I don't know, like Cats or something, or no, not Cats. Oh my god, I've never seen Cats. I've forgotten. Anyway, it was at the Royal Theater, and the butt of the joke for the entire night was, of course, Souk. So, how big is Souk? How many people actually live there?
You know what? I'm not sure of the exact amount of people, but it's growing. We have 3 street lights now.
Wow.
When I moved when I moved here 10 years ago, there was only 2. I mean,
that's getting serious.
Growth.
Yeah.
That's getting serious, man.
Do they have fire yet?
No, that has not been invented. We are just slowly emerging from the caves.
Really? I guess your cave's looking real nice, man.
Yeah. We hope to have the wheel next week.
Right. Well, you guys are getting close. I saw cars out there with triangles.
Yeah.
On the
those sad. We're sad.
We really thought that one was gonna work, but just.
What now? But would you say that the living through this pandemic is different for smaller towns? I mean, we're not talking about small town population, 105 people in the middle of Saskatchewan, but it's pretty remote out there. Are you guys suffering at all? Suffering? Suffering's not the right word. That's like roving gangs running around beating citizens. But is it different? Would you say it's different?
I think it's easier out here.
Because you're pretty remote, as like
Yeah,
fairly remote.
we don't have the population of Victoria or Vancouver. I mean, our couple grocery stores out here have remained stocked. The booze has remained stocked, so we're not really lacking for anything.
What about Sorry, my mother's correcting me. Alan doesn't live in a larger city. He lives in Saanich.
Sorry, Linda.
Yeah, that's true.
Saanich is pretty big. I
It's
mean,
bigger than Victoria.
I would say it
I think
is.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's you know,
certainly bigger than Souk.
certainly bigger than Sioux. So basically, everything is stocked. Everyone is fine. And have you guys had a problem with people like trying to escape the big city and drive out there and
Oh, we have roadblocks up. No, yeah, you can't get out of town. Yeah, you hit Gillespie Road and the cops are there. They turn you around. I spent a couple nights in jail because I tried to get around it. But,
it's terrible. I mean, here in Vancouver, I mean, on every street corner, there's like, you know, those motion sensing Gatling guns from like Aliens. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So the cyclist carnage is amazing.
you get the RoboCop automated guy.
Yeah, the Ed 209. Yeah, they
Ed
have several of those
209,
wandering
yeah.
around the downtown core. You know, except it doesn't say anything like the film. It's very polite, and just says sorry and then mows you down with gunfire. So there's no warning, no 30 seconds to comply.
You are within 2 meters of each other. Separate.
Sorry. Oh, my sister jumps to Ryan's defense that I'm supposed to leave you alone because you are awesome.
Thank
Sam.
you, Kristen.
So is it just your family watching this show?
Apparently, tonight there are 4 people. Well, 2 of them are. Well, 2 of them are. I don't know who the other 2 people are. But
Probably Ryan's family.
yeah, exactly. It's a kid downstairs. I'll never forget the time that we suddenly had we had a subscriber spike at like 10:30 at night once, and I looked at who it was and like Ben Ford, and Alan's like, "Excuse me," and he gets up and he leaves, and we hear off in the distance, "Put your phone away. Go to bed." But, you know, there you go. Oh, by the way, we also have a longtime watcher who checked us out for the first few minutes here. Shout out to Julian, who's been on the show, and he says Happy Virus Days to everybody. He is currently sequestering himself in his cabin on Nelson Island, just north of Seashell and those kinds of things. So,
Good for him.
mainly because he, as he puts it to me, I can walk around naked all the time.
Right.
That's normal here.
So Ryan,
Just
I have
that
to
one
ask-
guy,
Okay,
though.
so Ryan, you work as a paramedic dispatcher, correct?
Yeah.
So how has your job changed because of everything that's going on?
Not much, really. Everything we do takes a little bit longer to do, but really the job hasn't changed much. Actually, for the guys on car, it's extra precautions, more time gowning up, and going through a call and then cleaning up afterwards. And the dispatch center is just more time asking a couple extra questions at the end of every call. So really, it's
Okay.
adding more time, but no extra call volume, really.
Right.
Okay, I'm kind of surprised by that. I figured for sure you'd get like calls from every
We
Tom,
did-
Dick, and Harry.
We did right at the beginning, and then once they got that 1-800 COVID-19 number, a lot of people actually went to that and followed the rules,
Right.
which is odd.
Hang on, boys. Hang on, boys. Hey, dude. Were you asleep?
No, I'm awake.
You're awake. I sent out the invite. And you didn't respond.
Oh shit, I didn't see it.
Do you want me to invite you in now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll call you on the thing. All right. Bye. By the way, Ryan, do you know someone named Ian Small?
I do.
My mother wants to know. I don't know why.
I do know. Yes.
There you go, Mom.
Yeah,
He
he's one of
knows
our
Ian.
paramedics. Meredith Sarah. They've just had a little baby, I believe.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What's their address and their local phone number?
do you have?
It's been so long since I've stalked them, I can't remember. They've changed address a couple times. I've moved on.
Oh my god. So,
all right.
hey,
So how are you gonna work? How are you gonna work lock into? You've already set up the cameras.
I don't know. So the cameras are gonna go weird. I apologize for anyone who's gonna freak out. But
Okay, well, while Shane's doing that, so there was another article that I posted. So what I do is I go online before the show and I look for articles relating to beer, craft beer more specifically. But there was an article that came up. Apparently, the Minister of Health in Ottawa has said that it is completely acceptable for neighbors to have beers together at the ends of the driveway in the neighborhood, as long as they are with 2 meters apart from each other. So we can do that if we live together, if we live close together, which we don't. And now Locke is here.
hang on
Locke,
one second. I'm just going to add Locke into the call.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to change how the cameras look.
So Ryan, let me ask you: in your neck of the woods, do you have a neighbor that you go to stand at the end, like at say the end of the street, just have a beer with? No.
We actually just moved into our place. We've only been here for 2 weeks. So.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot to escape from. Like you just wanted to get away from COVID and that kind of thing and. So.
I think they've lived in Souk for quite a long time now, but they're just in this particular place.
Okay, I was just checking. All right, well, hey, Locke, hi, how's it going, man?
Not well, very well actually. So the saga of the dial-a-bottle. So I got a phone call about noon today, and it was the guy from Dial-a-Bottle. I'm like, oh, okay, you're here, great. I'll be out in a sec. I'm on the ground floor, so I'll be able to see you right away. And it's like, no, hold back, hold your horses. You don't understand. I'm at the liquor store, and none of the stuff that you ordered is in stock.
So, not only have you waited for like 5 days or so, you also
longer
have been waiting. Yeah. Well, actually, that's true because it was like last
Wednesday he was telling us about.
So the question, and I don't know what the answer is. You don't understand. The question are they out of stock because people are stocking up on booze now the way they were on toilet paper, or is this? Are they not getting shipments of booze in because everybody's shut down? So, like, I don't know what the answer there is, but it's getting serious. Anyway, so I had to completely rejig my order. That's fine. There was a change in whiskey. There was none of the beers.
First world problems.
But none of the beer I ordered they had. But I was still able to get some Flying Monkeys.
Oh, you got some Flying Monkeys. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I was going to get their double IPA, which I was looking forward to because I haven't had that yet. And they didn't have that. So instead I've got the Juicy Ass IPA. Now,
Isn't that one that we tried to get out here?
Yes, I think it might have been.
Yeah, what's it called?
Well, exactly. I mean, I've got to say,
I don't know if I want to drink that.
I don't know what it is with our Ontario companies, but they just come up with the worst names for everything. Juicy Ass. I don't know if that's making the right picture in my mind, really. Like it's just.
What other terrible beer names have we encountered in our lives? I mean, I still go back to the one that I had in Florida, that the hairy ass
Swamp Ape.
Swamp Ape. Yeah, that was a terrible beer. Swamp Ape IPA, which I thought, it's pretty hard to screw up an IPA. Yeah, no, it's kind of easy. I don't know what
The worst IPA I ever had. I can't even remember who it was from, but it was at the beer fest, and
oh god,
it tasted like water. It tasted like water. I had to dump it.
I think I
And
know the
a
one you're
beer
talking
has to
about.
be really bad for me to dump it, and I dumped this one.
What about you, Ryan? What is the worst beer you've ever had in your life?
Can't remember the name of it, but it was at Beer Fest as well. I think I was probably there with you. Was it from Dead Frog? I think.
Possibly.
And it tasted like a dead frog. I don't know what a dead frog tastes like, so I just assuming that's what it tasted like, but it was disgusting.
Right.
Like just nasty. And it was one of those ones you knew it was nasty before it hit your lip. You got that smell, and you're like, "Oh, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good." And it was not.
I've got to say, gentlemen, having been without beer for over a week, finally having a glass of beer, this is
Not having
Wait,
had
hold
good
it.
internet for the foreseeable future.
No, online. So visiting.
Sorry, Locke, we don't mean to laugh at you.
There's some kind of sort of story. So what just happened there? Did the whole
It froze, you Cyloned, and then suddenly you were going in slow motion. We were hearing you completely separately, but your face was going. It was pretty amazing.
So what I can tell you is going without beer for a couple of weeks and then having a beer is amazing. It is the best beer I have ever tasted, even though it's totally average beer. Well, it's better than average. It's craft beer from Barrie, Ontario. Good product, bad name, but this is making me very happy right now.
I'm trying to think of the longest I've gone without beer, and I think it's probably been a couple of months. I think it's probably the longest I remember my very first beer. I was with Alan and Todd, and we were hanging out in, I forgot what bar it was. The one in Bastion Square. Harpo's, yes, and we saw some terrible band. And the first beer I ever had was Canadian. That was horrible. I fell asleep. I was so bored.
Ryan used to drink Canadian
all the time, but that was way before anybody had craft beer out.
That's true.
No,
That's
not true. That's not true.
That's impossible
At all.
There was some craft beer, but they were pretty shitty.
That's true. I mean, there have been a lot of really crappy beers out there. I have to
I mean, the Georgian Dragons had their own Georgian Dragon lager or whatever.
Oh God! All right.
That's true. That's true. I remember we always used to get the pictures of Shasper.
Mid-90s, I think.
Mid-90s. Yeah. Okay. Spinnaker's was around then.
Spinnaker's, Vancouver Island Brewing.
Yeah, I never really considered Vancouver Island Brewing. They just always seemed fairly big. I always thought craft beer is the small.
Yeah.
It's changed now where even a craft brewery they're huge now. So
Yeah, I mean, I consider very few breweries craft breweries anymore. I mean, Red Truck used to call themselves a craft brewery. I don't think they do anymore.
So let me ask you guys this. So what about, say, Driftwood? Driftwood, you can buy Fat Tug. I mean, Locke bought one in Ontario.
Mm.
Is Driftwood still considered to be a craft brewery?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's come up with our own definition of craft brewing. Like, craft brewing is what to all of us here? It's like small brewery, maybe shipping their.
I think there's a continuum. Like your small brewery that like it's sort of like a house brew that's like there's a pub involved and it's it's like it's very home style, like I mean that's definitely craft beer. Something as big as say Big Rock out of Alberta, I think it's probably still craft beer.
Okay.
But
what about Granville Island?
Granville Island that's where we start to get their own. They were bought out by a major. Still craft beer. I mean, I think they probably put more craftsmanship into what they do than a lot of say sort of small-ish piss lager companies out there. I think there's a few different characteristics that I'd be looking for. One, are they doing something other than bog standard piss lager? I mean that's a critical element. They either are or they are not. Is it something that I mean if it's so large that it's like there's no way they could possibly pay attention to quality control, that's probably not craft beer. But yeah, there's all these sort of like traditional breweries out of Europe, right, that are relatively narrow in their focus. They make a product that's specific, that's that's got certain characteristics. Is there craftsmanship involved? Definitely. Is that the North American idea of craft beer? Well, there's no hipsters with beards involved, so I mean that side of it's gone. But like I think good beer is sort of like that's really what I'm after. Whether it's craft beer, I think is it's sort of like talking about a cowboy hat. Is it a cowboy hat or not? Well, I mean, was it made by Stetson and Co? That's definitely a cowboy hat. Did you buy it at the Calgary Stampede? Is it made of cheap straw? Is it still a cowboy hat? It's shaped like a cowboy hat. Sure, it's a cowboy hat. What about the big foamy things that you wear to football games?
That's totally a cowboy hat. That's totally a cowboy hat. I would wear that. I'd make a Western pea based on the Swizzle.
I'm just picturing like Clint Eastwood in a big foamy hat. I'm going to say something dramatic here, but I'm going to then shoot you in the face.
And then the gun. And then he pulls out the gun, and the gun like squeaks or whatever, and shoots out the thing, bang!
Wee, 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 wee. I would see that on stage. That would be something I would go to. Brian, give us your best Clint Eastwood impression.
I don't do impressions. I never did.
All right, then just take off your pants.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking good, eh?
Author.
God damn, you can't ask me to do things. I don't do things.
I don't do things anymore. I've got children.
What is he, a circus seal?
I live in Souk. I'm fucking drunk all the time. I can't do shit.
What you should be asking yourself is, do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good. It kind of sounded like a cross between Clint Eastwood and Sean Connery.
Yeah, well, I've got that going, don't I?
Yeah. Hey, I gotta say that I'm the only one with hair here now. What is this age thing, guys? What's going on?
Mine's voluntary. I do this to myself.
Okay, good.
I could grow hair.
Whew. I was just realizing that I'm looking at these three guys here, and
I'm pretty... Well, Alan's wearing a hat. He might have hair under there.
All right, Alan.
Oh, nope. Never mind. Sorry.
I think it's actually kind of funny that you have an A's hat with wearing a CBC T-shirt. Kind of amusing to me.
Why?
Just
ABC.
because. Exactly.
Oh, I never clued in on that. ABC.
Well, hey, the Oakland A's are a good team because as far as I'm aware, aren't the Canadians the farm team for them? Still, I don't. Maybe not anymore. Oh, you don't? How do you not know this? What? Oh my God.
The A's, the Vancouver Canadians cannot be a farm team for anybody. They're not in the proper league for that.
Here we go. Yeah, they are. They totally are. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
What do I know?
Yeah, what the hell do you know? I mean, I don't know anything. I mean, come on. I knew that little bit of tidbitty information. Tidbitty.
Tidbitty?
So, Locke, any adventures? We've talked a bit about adventuring out in Souk there, where Ryan lives. Apparently next door to the Souk Brewery. How far away are you from the brewery, though, Ryan?
Unfortunately, I used to be able to walk there in 5 minutes. Now that we moved, unfortunately I actually have to drive there. It's terrible. Still only takes me 5 minutes to drive, but
wow, that's so sad, man. I don't know what's going on.
But I'm also within a couple minutes of the 2 other breweries and the distillery in town, so
no, it's not so bad.
It's a rough life.
That's it. I'm moving to Souk. Locke, you want to come?
Souk. Potholes.
3 breweries.
Potholes.
And a distillery.
Best brewery gin.
I guess the people living in Souk really want to forget that they live there.
Now, something that we're going to have to arrange here is because Ryan knows personally the brewmaster at Souk Brewing. So one thing that we may have to wait for the end of the pandemic here, but we'll have to all get the same beer from Souk Brewing, and then we're going to have John, possibly from Souk Brewing, come on, and we can chatter at him about the beer that he makes.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it. He likes the idea, so he'd be willing.
Okay.
I'm liking that plan. Because, we have pure, wholesome entertainment here. Every week. Although we're doing it twice a week.
Well, there's so much planning. So, I mean...
It's true.
I mean, we spend probably 10, 20 minutes a week planning these things.
I know. There's so much planning that goes into it.
Like a 30-cent rehearsal?
Pretty much.
Actually, we make a 30-cent player's rehearsal look like a really professional thing.
Sorry, but Locke, adventuring, what's going on in your week out there in pandemic land?
Well, let me see. So, it was Easter recently.
Oh, that's right. It was Easter this past weekend. That's very true.
So there was some celebrating the pagan rabbit god.
Good.
My niece and nephew, they did up some sidewalk art saying Happy Easter.
Nice.
And
did they use the blood of the pagan rabbit, or did they use chalk or something?
I think it was chalk. Yeah.
I was hoping it was like the pagan blood, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is Toronto after all.
Yeah. I ran out of meat, so I had to go hunting. I caught this bad boy. Here we go. Bony but good eating.
It's so hard to get a really good saber-toothed tiger these days. I mean, the meat is just expensive as hell, but it's still good. It's really awesome to sort of be able to go out and...
You know what I find when I get saber-toothed tiger meat now? It just tastes like chicken.
That's true. That's the farmed saber-toothed tiger. You really have to go out in the wilderness, and you have to and hunting saber-tooth is only knife, right? So you can't use weapons like guns or anything.
And they got this all beyond saber-tooth meat now.
I know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just beyond saber-tooth. I mean, it's just the amount of hydrogenated oil in those things. It's gonna kill you sooner than
It's just made out of lentils.
I think I'm actually very impressed by the Beyond Meat burger I had the other day from I think it was Was it McDonald's or A&W? I think it was McDonald's. But in any event, my thought was that fast food restaurants have been making real meat taste like watered down cardboard for generations. So I think it's only sensible that they should take plant matter and somehow make it taste like meat. It's obvious.
That is true. I fully am supporting that. I mean, I think I actually went to McDonald's for the first time in a long time, just a couple weeks back. I had an Angus burger or something. It was.
Oh yeah.
I was not brave enough to try the.
Did they kill an actual Angus?
Yeah, my friend Angus, he showed up and they're like, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome out of Surrey." Boom, and they popped him right there and ate him up. It was terrible.
We're glad we could have you for dinner.
What was that movie that had the that was all about eating Raoul? I think it was called.
Eating Raoul. God, I haven't thought about that movie in ages.
Oh, it was like, I don't know, 93, 92-ish, somewhere in there.
Oh, speaking of cannibalism, Delicatessen. Jeanette Carreau's breakout film.
Oh my God, Eating Raoul is 1982? I don't remember that at all. Wow. We're old, boys. We've entered the Paul Blart Mall Cop stage of our lives.
Does anybody know whatever happened to Jeanette Carreau, the French directors who did City of Lost Children and Delicatessen and one of the Aliens movies?
He did one of the Aliens movies?
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, it was sort of weird because if you've ever read the original William Gibson script to Aliens 3, none of that ended up in Aliens 3. But it all, well, a lot of it anyway, ended up in the, what was it, Alien Erection, or I can't remember what
Alien Erection. Now that.
Well, yeah. That, I mean,
talk about face huggers.
I'm being a very big fan of Sigourney Weaver. I can tell you one.
It has a second mouth. That's not its second mouth. It's got acid for blood. That's not blood.
I'm gonna pee.
I'm on the floor.
Ryder was in that too.
I can't get up. It hurts. Oh God. Alien Erection.
And we're done.
You had me at erection. So, yes, Sigourney Weaver is amazing. I really hope she does no more Alien movies because, oh my God, oh jeez. There's a movie. This Sigourney Weaver. I might be thinking of the wrong actress here, but Allison, what was that salesperson movie?
Extract?
No. The one where sorry? No, it wasn't that one. It was the one where they all go to a conference and they're very excited about going to a conference because they
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids, thank you. Was that Sigourney Weaver?
No.
So what was it called?
Ed Helms, and I don't know who.
It was Ed Helms and
I don't know who the girl in it is.
oh, sorry. I have to get over the erection part.
Shocking.
My face hurts.
It was Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver was the one having sex with Ed Helms. Oh my god. If you guys have not seen the film Cedar Rapids, you're missing out. It's a movie about people that live in a small town that are salespeople at some sort of company, which I've forgotten what it's about or what they sold. But every year it was very exciting to go to the big city to go to the sales conference, and the character played by Ed Helms, who's like a single dude, has a romantic relationship with Sigourney Weaver, who's like a widow or something. It's I would check it out. I don't want to spoil anymore. It's amazing.
I remember that movie now. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, and it's like God, who's not in it? Like John C. Reilly's in it. Like the Rob Corddry, what's his name? Rob Corddry, who did Children's Hospital. Like there's a whole ton of actors that you've seen in all kinds of things that are in this film, and a lot of them, you know, their role is like, you know, maybe 3 minutes on screen kind of thing. Yeah, it's astounding. It's such a good film, and it was a surprise film. Like we watched it randomly, and you know, there you go. I do recommend it, and I don't. Why am I talking about it? Sigourney Weaver. I want Sigourney Weaver to be in the next Ghostbusters movie, but I don't think she will be. He tells me no.
Yeah. And I think all the other guys are just going to be.
Any updated information as to the release of the next Ghostbusters?
I do believe, like most films, they've been pushed to the fall, but I think Ghostbusters got moved to next year.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. But any other adventures that any of us have been on? Any news you want to cover, or are you running out of steam?
Yeah, I'm spent from that.
I want one. Sorry.
I'm spent from the whole erection thing.
The erection just
the erection killed us all. Yeah, I know.
My face hurts.
Well, on that note, then, thank you all the people who are watching, and come on back anytime. We are here Wednesdays,
including Shane's mom and
Saturdays. Yeah, my mom was here for the longest time. But yeah, so next Saturday, I guess we'll do a show on Saturday just because we can. You know, you never know. Ryan might come back because, you know, he's not that.
Ryan, are you game to do it again with us?
I could do it again. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice.
All right. Well, then, as always, do all the social media stuff. And Alan, take us out. And, whoa, we're back! Oh, crap!